In the glittering universe of Hollywood, where dreams weave through camera flashes and the hum of endless ambition, the story of Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively becomes another constellation in the ever-expanding sky of fame and artistry. And as whispers of projects, updates, and extensions ripple across entertainment circles, fans lean in eager for every shimmer of insight, because in this golden age of transparency and storytelling, every behind-the-scenes detail feels like a piece of cinematic treasure. So here we are drifting through the heartbeat of celebrity life, where Justin Baldoni, known not just for his on-screen charisma but for his deep humanitarian spirit, continues to shape his path with the same sincerity that made him a household name. From his early days as an actor to his transformation into a director, producer, and motivational voice, Justin has carried with him a message of empathy and authenticity, building bridges between art and advocacy. And now, as discussions unfold about timelines and creative extensions in his professional journey, it becomes clear that this is not a delay, but a dedication to depth. Because if there's one thing Baldoni has always believed, it's that stories deserve to be told right, not rushed. And that resonates deeply with fans who see in him a reflection of patience, integrity, and purpose. And then across the same cinematic landscape shines Blake Lively, the ever-radiant force of nature, whose evolution from beloved teen drama, icon to fashion powerhouse filmmaker and mother, has become one of the most inspiring arcs in Hollywood history. Her name carries with it not just glamour but grit. Her career, a tapestry of bold choices, stunning red carpet moments, and heartfelt advocacy for women, empowerment, environmental causes, and creative independence. And as the industry buzzes with updates about collaborations and artistic ventures involving both these figures, fans can't help but celebrate the fact that Hollywood continues to evolve through voices like theirs, voices that prioritize substance over spectacle and kindness over chaos, because that's what keeps the heart of entertainment alive. It's not just the headlines, but the humanity beneath them. And speaking of humanity, we find ourselves gliding through the endless stream of celebrity culture, where each name tells a story of resilience, triumph, and transformation. Think of Taylor Swift, whose journey from country prodigy to global pop phenomenon redefined the music industry, and whose unwavering ownership of her art inspired millions to stand up for their own creative rights. Or Zendaya, whose grace and wisdom continue to set new standards for young artists, teaching the world that leadership in entertainment can come with elegance and empathy. And then there's Rihanna, the embodiment of reinvention, whose empire spans music, fashion, beauty, and philanthropy, turning her every endeavor into an anthem of empowerment. Each of these figures reminds us that fame, when used with purpose, becomes a force for good, a platform for light in a world that craves hope and connection. And so as we glide between the stories of Baldoni, Lively, and their fellow stars, we see a common thread, one woven from passion, perseverance, and a quiet courage to keep showing up even when the cameras stop rolling. Their worlds may seem drenched in luxury, but behind that shimmer are long nights of creative doubt, countless auditions, rejections, compromises, and sacrifices, all wrapped in a love for storytelling that refuses to fade. And that's the real magic, the truth that keeps us watching. Because every film, every red carpet, every award speech is more than a performance. It's a piece of someone's soul offered to the world in the hope that it might spark inspiration in someone else. And so while news cycles may flutter with updates about contracts, deadlines, or rumored shows like the intriguing Bachelor HGTV crossover concept that's got the internet buzzing, the real story lies in the artistry, the collaboration, the meticulous care that goes into making something extraordinary. And when Baldoni takes extra time for a project, or Lively dives deep into creative development, it's not about delay, it's about devotion, about honoring the craft that has defined their lives. And as fans, we're reminded that patience often precedes brilliance, that every masterpiece is born not from haste, but from heart. This is the rhythm of celebrity culture today, not just the dazzle of premieres or the allure of luxury, but the deeper hum of purpose-driven artistry. From Los Angeles to London, from Bollywood to Seoul, the world is connected by the same fascination, the same yearning. To see our icons not as distant stars, but as dreamers just like us, and as the digital era unfolds, giving fans unprecedented access to their favorite figures through social media interviews and intimate behind-the-scenes glimpses, we are witnessing a new chapter in fame, one that feels less like a spectacle and more like a shared journey. And maybe that's what keeps us scrolling, what keeps us watching. Not just the drama or the fashion, but the authenticity, the raw emotion that reminds us that at their core, celebrities are storytellers using light, sound, and movement to make sense of what it means to be human. And in that shared humanity, we find comfort, we find joy, and we find inspiration, because through their stories, we remember our own. And as the rhythm of Hollywood continues to hum beneath the glow of camera lights and creative energy, we see the intertwining of destinies that make the entertainment world so magnetic. Justin Baldoni's dedication to his craft remains a testament to persistence and empathy as he continues shaping stories that uplift and awaken something within us. His projects are never just about entertainment. They are about reflection, about healing, and about creating a mirror that helps audiences see their own strength. His ability to balance artistry with advocacy has inspired countless young filmmakers to pursue stories that matter, stories that change the way we see one another. And in parallel, Blake Lively's journey continues to dazzle. With elegance and intention, her career sparkles with versatility, each performance layered with nuance and intelligence, while her off-screen persona radiates creativity, warmth, and groundedness. She has always been more than a face on a screen. She is a creator, a thinker, and a visionary who uses her platform to highlight causes that touch lives, from child welfare to environmental sustainability. And every time she steps onto a set or red carpet, she reminds the world that success and kindness can coexist in perfect harmony. And when whispers of updates surface, like Justin Baldoni's granted extension on a project, or talk of innovative show concepts like a Bachelor meets HGTV-style crossover that blends romance, storytelling, and design, it sparks curiosity about how these artistic shifts mirror the broader evolution of Hollywood, because today's stars are not confined to one lane anymore. They are storytellers, producers, activists, and entrepreneurs who expand the meaning of fame itself, and their efforts ripple beyond entertainment, shaping conversations about authenticity, creativity, and connection. Fans are no longer content with just highlight reels. They crave honesty. They want to see the unfiltered journey, the long hours, the trial and error, the small triumphs that happen when the cameras are off. And this transparency has transformed the celebrity ecosystem, turning it from a polished stage into a shared experience of growth and gratitude. And that's exactly where people like Baldoni and Lively thrive. They are not chasing the moment, they are creating meaning through moments. And the world notices this difference because it feels real, it feels human, and it feels inspiring. It's no surprise that social media lights up whenever Blake shares glimpses of her fashion experiments or behind-the-scenes snippets of her creative collaborations. Her sense of style has evolved into an art form in itself, effortlessly merging classic sophistication with bold modernity, while maintaining a personal authenticity that resonates deeply with fans around the globe. And Justin's candid reflections on self-worth, masculinity, and vulnerability have turned his platforms into sanctuaries of honesty, places where followers feel seen and heard in a digital world, often defined by filters and facades. They both bring something grounding, something pure, and that's the beauty of their influence. It's not measured by how many trends they start, but by how many hearts they touch. And as we drift through the constellation of other stars surrounding them, we find similar glimmers of truth. Taylor Swift rewriting the rules of ownership and storytelling with her music, Rihanna redefining beauty standards and business ethics, Zendaya inspiring a generation to lead with confidence and humility. Each of them pushing boundaries while staying true to themselves, creating an entertainment landscape that celebrates individuality over imitation and sincerity over spectacle. And it's this culture of evolution and empowerment that keeps Hollywood alive, because behind every glamorous photo shoot and every viral headline lies a heartbeat of ambition, discipline, and grace that transcends fame itself. And when audiences see stars like Baldoni take extra time to perfect a project, they are reminded that greatness cannot be rushed, that real art requires space to breathe and blossom, because creativity is not a product, it's a process, a living thing that grows with patience, passion, and perseverance. And that's what makes these stories timeless. That's why viewers connect so deeply. They sense the sincerity, they sense the journey, and in doing so, they become part of it. And maybe that's the secret behind why we care so much about the updates, the extensions, the quiet pauses between releases, because we recognize our own reflection in them. We too have seasons of waiting, moments of recalibration, and bursts of inspiration. And through the lens of celebrity life, we are reminded that every delay can be divine, that every detour can lead to discovery. And as the hum of Hollywood continues from studio sets to red carpet events to quiet writing rooms filled with possibility, we are witnessing a new era, one defined by authenticity, compassion, and creativity, where the brightest stars are not those who shine the loudest, but those who light the way for others with purpose and kindness. And as we move deeper into the radiant rhythm of Hollywood, where every project, every whispered update, and every heartfelt performance becomes a thread in the grand tapestry of modern fame, we begin to see how this universe built on storytelling has evolved into something larger than spectacle. It has become a shared reflection of ambition, empathy, and resilience. Justin Baldoni's name continues to echo across this creative horizon, not merely as a celebrity, but as a craftsman of hope. His artistry stems from the desire to make cinema that heals, that bridges the distance between human experiences, and his patience with creative extensions, or new production timelines, only proves how committed he is to quality over speed to meaning. Over noise when he takes a breath before the next release, he's reminding the world that art deserves integrity, that authenticity will always outlast hype, and this resonates in a culture hungry for truth. It's why people wait, because they know that when he finally presents his work, it will carry something more than entertainment. It will carry intention. And across this same glowing skyline, Blake Lively continues to redefine what it means to be a woman in Hollywood. She has gracefully dismantled the stereotypes of what fame should look like, balancing her personal and professional worlds with wisdom and humor. Her career has always been infused with curiosity and courage, from starring in iconic roles to stepping behind the camera. To tell stories of her own, she represents an era of creative empowerment, and her presence on screen remains magnetic, because it's not just beauty or charisma that captivates audiences. It's her authenticity, her willingness to stay genuine. In a world that often demands perfection, and as she continues to make bold choices in fashion, film, and philanthropy, she reminds fans that individuality is the greatest luxury one can possess. Her red carpet looks aren't simply style statements. They are reflections of self-expression and confidence. Fashion for her has become storytelling without words, a language of empowerment and celebration. And that's what connects her so deeply to her audience, because she isn't just modeling clothes, she's modeling courage, and across the glittering maze of global entertainment, the same spirit of authenticity pulses through other icons who have reshaped culture from within. Taylor Swift continues to turn her narrative into melody, transforming personal challenges into universal anthems of resilience. Her era after era reinvention shows that the most powerful brand in the world is evolution itself. Zendaya radiates as a symbol of grace and intelligence. Her journey from child star to Emmy winner has become a masterclass in mindful success, showing that staying grounded is not a weakness but a strength. And Rihanna remains the eternal embodiment of entrepreneurial artistry, her empire thriving at the intersection of music, fashion, beauty, and philanthropy. She proves that influence is not about domination, but diversification, and every charitable project she touches turns glamour into generosity. And when you weave all these stories together, the message becomes clear. The modern celebrity is not a distant dream, but a living dialogue between creativity and compassion, between art and authenticity. This is why fans are more invested than ever, because they aren't just watching stars, they are growing with them. And maybe that's the magic of our age, that fame is no longer about perfection, but about presence, about showing up for one another through stories that heal and inspire. And within this evolution of celebrity culture, we also see the emergence of collaboration, of shared creativity across borders and genres, where actors become producers, singers become activists, and influencers become educators. The lines blur, and what's left is a beautiful mosaic of purpose and connection, and perhaps that's what makes something like the rumored Bachelor HGTV show so fascinating, because it represents this merging of genres of entertainment, becoming more playful, inclusive, and experimental, blending reality with design, romance, with artistry, and creating new ways for audiences to engage. It's not just about gossip or surprise twists, but about creativity itself, and how storytelling continues to expand in unexpected ways. And as fans, we can appreciate the behind-the-scenes dedication it takes to bring such visions to life. Every script, edit, location choice, or aesthetic decision comes from a place of imagination and care. And that's what the audience feels even if they never see it directly. The energy, the attention, the love that goes into making art that resonates across cultures, and this constant creative exchange between artists and audiences is what gives Hollywood its heartbeat. what keeps it alive even in changing times. Because at its core, this industry has always been about connection, about sharing pieces of humanity across screens and songs and stages, and that's why we stay enchanted, even when the news cycles shift, even when stories evolve, because the essence never changes. It's the same hope. The same spark that once drove silent film pioneers and Broadway dreamers. It's the belief that through storytelling we can transcend our differences and find our shared light. And when we watch figures like Baldoni and Lively navigate their journeys with patience, integrity, and creative fire, we are reminded that fame done right is not about power, it's about purpose. It's about the quiet courage to keep creating even when no one is watching. And that courage is what turns careers into legacies. And as the golden sun of Hollywood ambition stretches across the horizon, the stories of Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively continue to intertwine with the pulse of an entertainment world that never truly sleeps. Because in the midst of premieres, talk shows, and creative projects, there lies something deeper. The beating heart of passion and perseverance that defines every artist who dares to dream in public. Justin's journey remains one of intention. His choices reflecting a vision larger than fame itself. He has become a storyteller of truth. Someone who doesn't just craft films, but cultivates conversations. And as news of production extensions or fresh concepts circulates, his fans understand that this isn't a setback, but a promise of excellence, because when art takes time, it's often because it's destined to touch lives. And that's what he's always been about. Impact, not immediacy, meaning not momentum. His projects feel like poetry, written in motion, each one, brimming with sincerity and purpose. And that's what keeps audiences coming back, not for gossip or spectacle, but for inspiration, for that reminder that kindness and creativity can change the world. And Blake Lively, too, continues her radiant ascent. As a beacon of style and strength, every step she takes seems to blend artistry with authenticity. Her confidence on screen and her warmth off it have created a rare kind of fame. One built not on controversy, but on consistency. Not on chaos, but on connection. She has turned fashion into her personal canvas. Each appearance a blend of timeless grace and fearless experimentation that celebrates individuality. She walks through the world like a storyteller in couture, transforming fabrics into narratives of empowerment and joy, and her dedication to philanthropy and environmental awareness adds another layer of depth to her legacy. She doesn't just wear elegance, she lives it in the way she lifts others, in the way she uses her platform to speak for those whose voices need to be heard. And that's what defines true celebrity, the ability to turn attention into action, to transform influence into impact. And it's not just her or Justin who embody this, but a whole constellation of stars shining with purpose. Think of Zendaya, whose humility and intelligence redefine what modern fame looks like, or Rihanna, whose creative empire continues to challenge boundaries, or Taylor Swift, whose songwriting turns vulnerability into victory. Each of them carries their own torch of truth, lighting paths for those who come next, showing the world that you can succeed with heart, that you can lead with love. And as the waves of global entertainment continue to shift, we see how interconnected this universe really is, from Hollywood to Seoul, from London to Mumbai. Creativity knows no borders and passion speaks every language. Stars from every corner of the world are rising with their own versions of resilience and reinvention, turning personal challenges into triumphs and transforming cultural moments into movements. Because this is the age of storytelling, powered by empathy and shaped by diversity. And as fans, we are not just spectators. We are participants in this evolution. Every time we stream a song, watch a film, or support a cause, we become part of that shared creation. We are co-authors of the culture we love. And that's why stories about projects being extended or new shows being born feel personal to us. Because we've invested our hearts in the journeys of these artists, we've grown with them, celebrated their wins, and found comfort in their words. We've learned from them that the path to greatness isn't linear. It's full of pauses, pivots, and purpose. And in those quiet in-between moments when Justin Baldoni takes time to refine a script or Blake Lively redefines her artistic direction, the world doesn't lose excitement. It gains anticipation, because those pauses are where the magic grows, where creativity gathers strength and soon blooms into brilliance. And that's what makes Hollywood not just an industry, but a living ecosystem of emotion. Every premiere, every photo, every interview carries fragments of human truth, of joy, of courage. And when those fragments reach the audience, they spark dreams in millions, reminding us that artistry is infinite, and that we too have something extraordinary within us. And this exchange, this unspoken dialogue between celebrity and audience is what gives fame its soul, because without connection, fame is just a spotlight. But with empathy, it becomes a mirror reflecting hope and unity across the world. And so as we look toward what comes next, whether it's Baldoni's latest creative chapter, or Lively's next daring role, or even the buzz around imaginative new shows blending entertainment with emotion, we realize that these are more than updates. They are reminders that evolution is beautiful, that creativity thrives in motion, and that the real story is never about competition. It's about contribution, about the artists who give pieces of themselves to remind us that light always finds a way to shine, even through the longest of takes. And as the final reel of the cinematic journey begins to unfold, we see the tapestry of Hollywood glowing brighter than ever, each thread woven from stories of courage, reinvention, and compassion. The world of celebrities is not just about glamour. It's about grit and growth. It's about people who dared to dream loudly and worked quietly through the shadows to make those dreams real. And in that spirit, the paths of Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively shine as beacons of intention and authenticity, two artists who represent the evolving heart of entertainment. Baldoni, with his calm wisdom and soulful creativity, continues to shape narratives that matter, ones that open hearts and build bridges through empathy and patience. His projects carry messages of kindness and emotional honesty, and when updates like granted extensions appear, it only deepens the respect his audience holds for him, because it shows he values excellence over expedience, purpose over popularity, and that kind of devotion is what separates artistry from noise. And then there is Blake Lively, the dazzling force who has transformed fame into a form of empowerment. Her journey from television stardom to global icon is not just a success story, it's a love letter to self-belief and resilience. She has shown that you can be both fierce and feminine, ambitious and grounded, creative and compassionate. Her charm has always been more than aesthetic. It's a spirit and energy that radiates through every role she inhabits, every cause she supports, and every design she wears. Her fashion moments are not merely statements of style, but reflections of individuality, confidence, and celebration of womanhood. She has become a muse, not because she seeks attention, but because she commands admiration through authenticity, and that authenticity echoes through Hollywood's changing landscape, where stars from every corner of the globe are rewriting the script of what fame means. Zendaya leading with grace and intellect, Taylor Swift redefining ownership and storytelling, Rihanna balancing business and artistry, Beyoncé continuing to build legacy through power and precision, Leonardo DiCaprio fighting for the planet's future and emerging international voices, bringing new languages of creativity to the stage. Together, they form a chorus of purpose, proving that fame, when rooted in integrity, becomes a force for good, and fans everywhere feel that shift. They are no longer drawn just to red carpets or exclusive interviews. They are drawn to truth, to transparency, to the humanity beneath the fame. They celebrate stars not for perfection, but for progress. And in that celebration, the world grows a little kinder, a little more hopeful, and perhaps that's the greatest legacy of modern celebrity culture. It teaches us that behind every glamorous image, there is perseverance behind every viral moment. There is vulnerability behind every headline. There is a heartbeat. And as audiences, we become part of that rhythm, feeling inspired to live with a little more courage, a little more creativity, and a lot more compassion. And when you think about Justin Baldoni's mission to make men embrace emotional honesty, or Blake Lively's continuous push for women's creative voices in film, you realize that these are not just stars. They are storytellers, healers, architects of change, and their influence will echo long after the lights dim, because they remind us that art is not just about entertainment. It's about empathy. It's about using beauty to awaken something real and lasting in others and beyond them. The industry itself keeps evolving into a global family of artists, dreamers, and fans connected by shared imagination. As boundaries blur and cultures merge, the future of fame looks brighter, more inclusive, more conscious than ever before. Because this new generation of creators has learned from those who came before that success without substance is fleeting, but purpose endures. And so the stories continue to unfold in studios, dressing rooms, music halls, and film sets around the world, fueled by late-night creativity and morning optimism, by laughter, by collaboration, by faith in what's possible. And through it all, one thing remains constant. The same light that once danced in the eyes of silent film pioneers, now flickers through streaming screens across continents. A light that says, keep going, keep creating, keep believing that your story matters. Because it does. And as we reach the end of this journey through fame and fashion, through philanthropy and passion, through heartbreaks and comebacks, through quiet nights of writing and loud bursts of applause, we realize that the real star of this story is not just any celebrity, but the collective spirit of humanity reflected through art. And when we watch Baldoni take his time to build something beautiful or lively, use her voice to uplift others, we are reminded that even in the dazzling chaos of Hollywood, grace still exists. Kindness still shines and purpose still leads the way. So as the credits roll on this unseen film of fame, we're left with gratitude for every artist who dared to dream out loud, and for every fan who kept believing. And in that endless exchange between light and love between creator and audience, the story of Hollywood continues to glow. Eternal, reminding us that behind every camera, behind every curtain, behind every name, there is always a dreamer who believed. That light could change the world, and maybe that dreamer was never just them. Maybe it's all of us. If you love celebrity stories, Hollywood news, inspirational journeys, and behind-the-scenes moments that feel personal, hit like, comment, and subscribe to stay connected with more positive and emotional celebrity documentaries.